People of Earth Research Lab, welcome to a new interview to the one and only. We got the man here, Mr. Jeff Laubenstein.
It's this guy right here.
Okay, so this is the second time we met actually, because only the real followers know since exactly 1 year ago, we started our project of interviewing artists around event working in the Magic the Gathering environment, and we got the reboot interview with our first artist actually that we interviewed 1 year ago. So you're the man for us. Yeah, you started the thing.
Well, once again, we're doing it in the rain. Well, inside.
Yeah, exactly. It's raining outside. But we found a spot here in a corner of Stazione Leopolda because this is Damnation Fest number 4 and it's January 2025. Today is the 5th of January.
Yeah, the 5th.
First thing first, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
We are very tired, but we're so happy to be here. Right now, we're working with Bose,
Yeah.
and we're very happy to be here and to do this for him. We're so grateful.
Well, if you're here for Bose, then you should be here all day just like the rest of us, because we're guests of him and his wonderful Dungeon Street, and it's up to us to be good guests and be here all day long from start to finish and not sleep and paint all night, and that's what we do.
That's how we do.
It sounds like you edit all night, right?
Yeah, definitely. But also, this edition of Damnation Fest is the biggest ever.
It is.
And we also know your special relationship with Gianluca, of course. And how's the feeling of being an active part of this? Like, what's the story behind it?
Well, they're very terrific people. I met them this time last year, had a great time at their event, came back for Paupergeddon during the summer, and then met with them again at Luca Comics in the fall. So this is actually the 4th visit in a year.
In a row.
So yeah, I feel like part of the crew.
So you're a bit Italian as well, step by step.
Today he tried the bombardino.
You tried the bombardino.
Bombardino, yes.
Yeah,
How
bombardino
did you find it?
with coffee.
With coffee?
With coffee,
I put an espresso in it.
Okay, that is a new thing, actually. We don't drink it like this. We have some cream on it.
Yeah,
cream?
just cream.
Yeah, most of the time, but I never tried it with coffee. How was it?
It was a espresso bombardino with chocolate flakes.
It's like
chocolate
drinking a tiramisu.
It was like drinking tiramisu, and it was a little eggy at the end.
I mean,
drinking an omelet before you cook it.
Yeah, but also they give so much bombardino because actually in Italy we serve just a little bit.
Yeah, just a shot.
It was just a shot. It was a big glass. So, second questions you want?
Yeah,
you want
the
to
second
approach
question is, we already spoke about the secrets behind the creative process of your masterpieces like Show and Tell and Recurring Nightmare last year. So, for the new fans, we want to recall that we already did an interview with Jeff. So, if you want to know the secrets behind Recurring Nightmare and Show and Tell, which are the most iconic card that Jeff drew, just check out the last interview. So, what we want to ask is a common theme with you. Just how many commissions did you get for Show and Tell this time?
Well, the joke is a guy comes to the table. Are you done with my altar? And I say, well, which one's your altar? And I go, Show and Tell. And I go, they're all Show and Tell. So I don't know how many I did this time, but I've done hundreds of them.
Yeah.
How do you manage such a great amount of requests?
Yeah.
Everyone wants something different. Except occasionally folks will bring pictures of ones I've already did. Can you paint that? And I'm like, sure. But I'd rather do something interesting and new. So I did some new ones this weekend.
Okay, so this is part of our third question, actually, because, I mean, as we said before, it's been a year that we started interviewing artists all around the events here in Italy, of course, and we wanted to get to the bottom of the individual behind the artist. So, our question is, so there's no one. When it comes to approach a commission for which you didn't really receive any guideline from the client, just for example, we interviewed also Mr. Michele Giorgi, and we found out that he creates an internal narrative to each piece of art he paints. So when the theme is free, in your case, how do you let your creativity flow?
Well, I try to interest myself in what's there and bring something that I'm interested in to the story. So if it's a fantastic scene, I'll put something that like from museums. If I'm there you go, miscalculate. No, not miscalculate. I'm stuttering because I'm drinking too much coffee. Metronome. It's built out of gnomes. I had to do a bunch of sketches for it because I had to figure out how they were built. But in the composition is a trilobite There's part of the jaw of a rhinoceros, and there are some little clay figures that are from Assyria, because those are all things I'm interested in. So I added them to the story to tell a story with the picture. The successful paintings have narratives built into them because you want them to imply a bigger world. Yeah. There's something else happening besides just what's in that picture, and it helps ground the image and suggest a bigger world.
So basically, they're just a little part of a greater story.
Exactly. You're trying to tell an arcing world. You're world building with your pictures.
How big is that story? Like, how many details can you add to such a masterpiece, which is also so much detail itself?
Show and tell and recurring nightmare are the pieces people ask for the most. And I'm lucky because the figures in the paintings are fairly large. Yeah. So you can do whatever you want with them, like they're paper dolls. I've made Show and Tell into Gene Simmons. I've made him an astronaut. I've made him Harry Potter. I've made him Gandalf. He can be all sorts of things because there's enough room to paint on it. With a lot of the other compositions, the figures are super tiny. So you're painting on like a pea or a seed. It's too small to put the details in. The Show and Tell guy is big enough that you can change his face and make him someone else.
Well, great. So just for example, like just in these days, I mean, you just told us that you have so many requests for the same cards over and over, but you just told us that you drew something new. Can you tell us about something that you painted in these days, like something that stayed in your mind?
You made commissions? Or
like for also commissions, yeah.
Well, a guy yesterday asked you to paint Mephistopheles in Chains, I think it's called.
Sorry, say it again.
Mephistopheles in Chains. It's a demon with chains on his
Chains of Mephistopheles.
Okay, I get it.
I drew him on the Show and Tell guy, and as I'm looking at it, it's the devil from Night, Death, and the Devil by Albrecht Dürer. It's a 600-year-old engraving that somebody used for the creature in the painting. And I told the guy, and he's like, "Well, I didn't know that. It's my favorite card." I'm like, "Well,
there you go.
It came from something else." Yeah, it's a really cool precedent. It was fun to paint.
Is there someone that let you do what you want on the artwork?
Sort of. Every weekend, somebody will say, "What would you like on it?" "Whatever you want." I'm like, I wasn't sitting there thinking, you know, what I want to paint is Charles Bronson with his car. And no,
but why not?
So you try to do something interesting each time. You want people to walk away with a smile. You want them to be happy that they interacted with you and they have a little treasure that they can use as a souvenir and play and impress their friends with. And it's kind of nice for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. You have something on your mind because you're looking at me like thinking you want to ask something.
I'm actually a really big fan of letting the artist do whatever he wants on the art, because I think most of all is that you are the artist, so you know better what to do. And I think that in my mind, limiting an artist to a theme can be kind of boring.
Well, at the same time, if you're at a show and you're doing dozens of requests, having a place to start is useful.
Yeah, definitely.
So at least that gives you somewhere to go.
Just a starting team.
A starting point.
Yeah.
And after you start, then you find something in it that interests you. And you try to do something new each time if you can. Give me some sort of context.
Yeah.
What are you interested in? I'll work with something that interests you.
You have a very strong connection with the community, because last time Jeff said that the community keeps the cards alive.
Yeah, they do. I'm constantly thanking people for keeping these cards alive. It didn't have to happen. There are people who have painted hundreds of cards that no one touches. I think I did 19 that are playable, which is hardly any.
Yeah.
And 9 of them are still in play.
Yeah. And
it's quite remarkable.
And they're quite unreachable for the power level they are. Show and Tell is such a strong card, and Recurring Nightmare is even worse because it's they try to reboot it with Modern Horizon 3. They made a
Chthonian Nightmare. Not even close to the original, by the way.
Not even close.
Yes and no. Thomas, who's a friend of mine, painted some big eyes into the painting and a bunch of teeth. So he's sort of nodding to the original piece, which I thought was very kind of him. When I heard about it, the fact that it needs energy, I made an energy token that's based on the original monster.
I'm a great fan of the energy mechanics, so this is interesting
You
for
should go
me.
take a look at the card because it has.
I should.
It's based on the monster, except now it's got a mouth as well. The old one should power the new one.
Definitely. I mean, energy is so strong right now, but that is a great idea, to be
But
honest.
the Recurring Nightmare doesn't need any kind of setup. You can just reanimate a thing and
play
just
as
be
it
it.
is.
It's kind of more limited in it, but it's a good recall to the original one.
The thing is, it's so good to
Well, it's
have
kinda
something
tough.
like this,
Yeah.
to have a card like this in the metagame. I mean, that reminds you of Recurring Nightmare for those who played. So this is something for the community, I guess.
Well,
so
that's what I thought was cool that Thomas Baxa put some visual cues to the original painting
Yeah.
in his new painting.
thinking about this year, you know, we're in 2025, we've got all the year ahead of us. So what are you doing this year? I mean, do you have something that you can tell about this year? I mean, you have some plans? I don't know.
I will have a 5th and a 6th show in Italy in 2025.
Ooh.
Okay.
We look back at Luca Comics in the fall
Okay.
and Poppergeddon in July, I think it is.
Okay. So I guess we're meeting again.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been announced or not, but there'll be a bunch of us there, and
Definitely.
it'll be great fun.
Yeah. We can't tell it.
We can't tell it, but it's the
We heard some rumors.
yeah, it's the
and,
10th anniversary of Poppergeddon, so expect some good stuff.
just come to Poppergeddon Pizza.
Yeah, just
You
come.
have to be there.
You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be. You must be there. I mean, if you're a fan of Magic the Gathering, you should be there. Definitely.
Other things, the Spotlight series in Utrecht, I'll be at that.
Okay.
Vienna-geddon in Austria.
Vienna-geddon.
Vienna-geddon, I know.
Vienna-geddon.
Vienna-geddon.
What?
Oh, yes. When I was at the Czech Nationals in November, somebody that was organizing Vienna-geddon said, "You've got to come." And I'm like, "Sure."
We got a competitor here.
Yeah.
The
close one.
The German Nationals for pre-modern, I'll be at.
Oh, okay.
I mean, pre-modern is,
Yeah,
is the
pre-modern.
format for you, I guess.
I guess that's all my cards for.
yeah.
But it's cool. I'm glad to be a part of all this.
Outside of Europe, do you have something? I mean, you're going anywhere this year?
Probably Mexico. I don't know. Australia, probably.
Wow.
We're still talking about it. I've got about half the year booked, but I'm working on what's happening in the summer.
So be sure to follow him on his social networks to find out.
Well, I was on a plane on New Year's Day to come here. So this year started day one. So
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good start.
Magic from the beginning.
God, that's such a dream for us because
Yeah.
we're working with Magic actually, but it's not our first job. You know, we need to do something else. Of course, this is so inspiring for us. Magic from the first day of the year, and it's
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's
Wonderful.
definitely crazy. So guys, we're reaching the end of this interview. We want to thank you again
Thank you.
for the second time.
It's
Maybe
my
next
pleasure.
year again, we're going to do a third interview. We're growing into this world, and you were the first and you will be the last for this event. So
Today.
Yeah, for
We'll
today.
see again.
I mean, we're so grateful to you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your stories. It's so incredible because most of the interview was something that you just said by yourself. I mean, there's not even questions from us, and this is such an honor from us.
Yeah.
I like to chit chat.
Yeah. We're going to eat something.
Ciao, ciao.
Mr. Jeff Laubenstein, thank you.
Take care of yourself.
See you guys.
I'll see you again.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao, bella.
Ciao.